Go places. And by AT&T, official wireless partner of the Houston Rockets.
Rockets Radio.
Launch control, this is Houston.
Red Nation. Get ready for liftoff.
And the crowd is on their feet.
We are go for launch.
Here come the Rockets.
Now, the voices of your Houston Rockets. Matt Thomas and Adam Wexler.
And just before we get you set for all the action here tonight inside Toyota Center, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification all along the Rockets radio network.
KBNE Houston, an iHeart radio station. This is Sports Talk 790, your home for Houston Rockets basketball.
Rockets and Spurs, a very familiar matchup over the course of history inside this National Basketball Association. We're used to it, and we're happy to be bringing it to you starting tonight with preseason game number 1. And once again, time to bring in the voice of your Houston Rockets. That is Matt Thomas. And Matt, a couple days in Louisiana, a summer's worth of workouts, summer league, new blood, and it's basketball time.
And nothing replicates being on a full 94-foot court, Wex, with people that you're not familiar with, at least half the team. There could be potentially as many as 6 first-round picks on the court at the same time tonight. I don't think any NBA game could potentially say that, and haven't said that in a very long time.
Yeah, a lot from this past draft, obviously, for both teams. For the Rockets, 3 more first-rounders from 2021. Tonight's starting lineup for the Rockets, 5 first-rounders. As we take a look at everything we've got in store for us, including tonight's Keys to the Game, presented to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Well, I just think it's just getting guys acclimated. Nobody's going to play more than 20 minutes, I think, is what the game plan is. Get some new rotation guys coming out of the backcourt, and then obviously you want to see what Jabari Smith has done, and coming off of the work that he did in the Summer League. Same goes for Tari Eason, who was Mr. Aggressive throughout the time in Las Vegas. Very curious to see what those guys do, and always some time with Boban Marjanovic is always a welcome sight as well.
That would be fun. And remember, keys to a win could include getting things done. It's the preseason. This is Rockets Countdown, brought to you by Corona.
What does your winning lineup look like? Don't tell us. Show us on DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports. New customers can create a basketball lineup and play free for millions with their first deposit with promo code ROCKETS. Download the DraftKings app now, draft your lineup, and play free for millions with your first deposit with promo code ROCKETS. That's right, play free for millions with your first deposit only on DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
The Houston Rockets are looking to bring a championship back to Texas. AT&T Sportsnet has all the exclusive coverage you need. From pregame to postgame, watch every game, every shot, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Visit AT&TSportsnet.com and click on the channel finder to see how you can watch Rockets basketball all season long. AT&T Sportsnet, the TV home of the Houston Rockets. Available on DirecTV, Uverse, and Xfinity.
Looking for a little Vegas-style fun? Whether you're going with a group or getting away for the day, take a short 2-hour drive to Golden Nugget Lake Charles for the ultimate casino resort experience. Savor your favorite Landry's restaurants, catch an A-list concert, experience Bayou Beauty on our championship golf course, or simply soak your cares away in our luxury spa. With 1,100 rooms and suites and 1,600 slots, there's no better place to stay and play. Visit goldennugget.com/Lake Charles to book today.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Tonight from the Toyota Center in downtown Houston, it's time for NBA basketball featuring your Houston Rockets in the preseason opener against the San Antonio Spurs. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Adam Wexler, I'm Matt Thomas. Our studio engineer and producer is Joe George. Network producer, of course, Joe handles that as well. Pete Unger on stats. David Obert, our on-site engineer inside the Toyota Center. Time now for the starting lineups for this evening's contest, the first of 4 preseason games. First, with the visiting San Antonio Spurs. 5-time NBA champion San Antonio Spurs, led by Greg Popovich. 2,045 victories, 1,344 losses. His lineup will go with Trey Jones, the third-year player from Duke, joined in the backcourt by Devin Vassell in season number 3 out of Florida State. The forwards will be Josh Richardson in season number 8 out of Tennessee. The power forward is Keita Bates-Diop. He is in his 5th campaign out of Ohio State. And Jakob Poeltl, the 7th-year player from Utah via Austria, is the center. Jones, Bates-Diop, Poeltl, Vassell, and Richardson for a San Antonio team last year that went 34-48 and finished 10th in the Western Conference. For the Houston Rockets, last year at 20-62, they are led by third-year coach Steven Silas with a career mark of 37-117. On the guard line, Kevin Porter Jr. in season number 4 out of USC, joined in the backcourt by Jalen Green, the second-year product out of Fresno, California. He changes uniform numbers from 0 to 4. The third guard, small forward, is 15th-year NBA vet Eric Gordon out of Indiana. The power forward will be Jabari Smith Jr., the rookie out of Auburn, and the 3rd overall pick in this past NBA draft. And Alperen Şengün in his 2nd campaign from Turkey will be the center. So again, it'll be Şengün, Gordon, Green, Porter, and Smith for our Houston Rockets team that won 11 of their 41 home contests last year inside this building. Our officials tonight, as assigned by the NBA, a veteran crew. The crew chief is Tony Brothers. Derek Collins and Sheree Mitchell will be his assistants. Our Memorial Hermann injury report is brought to you by Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care. For the Rockets, Jae'Sean Tate is out tonight with right ankle soreness. I was told if it was a regular season game, he'd be able to go, but just taking precautions on that. Also for the San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson is expected to be their leading go-to guy. We'll talk more about that as the evening progresses, is out this entire preseason after having a shoulder procedure. Josh Primo, their former first-round pick of a couple of years ago out of Alabama, is out with a sore knee. And that is your Memorial Hermann injury report. You know, the Rockets, Wex, have gone through lots of changes as they go into this rebuild. San Antonio is in phase number 1. This past offseason, they sent DeJounte Murray to Atlanta. They have lost DeMar DeRozan in recent years, and they are now working off of a very young, if not the youngest, NBA lineup, top to bottom on their roster.
21 points per game, 9 assists per game, 8 rebounds per game, nearly a walking triple-double, and he'll be producing numbers like that for the Atlanta Hawks this year with Murray out, and yes, a definite rebuild phase for Greg Popovich's Spurs.
Jeremy Sohan will be one of the rookies we'll spend some time talking about. He is from Poland. He was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. For those of you that watch Baylor Bear basketball, you're familiar with him. They also have Blake Wesley and Malachi Branham, who was the Big 10 Freshman of the Year. He was questionable coming into tonight's game, but he is listed on the roster as to be active tonight, so we may see him for a couple of minutes as well. As far as the Rockets are concerned, and we were all there on draft night, Jabari Smith Jr., I don't want to say fell to the lap at number 3, but this is a guy that was supposed to be the number 1 pick. He goes to number 3 and showed all the intangibles in Las Vegas that we expected coming off of his playing days at Auburn.
The thing to say is they were very excited about how things shook out on draft night. Again, holding that 3rd pick, not knowing how the obvious top 3 prospects would end up filing out. They did all their needed research, due diligence, background work, and everything they could to give their intel on those 3 players. And Jabari Smith, very NBA ready on one end of the court defensively, and at some point, maybe this season, he will be spectacular offensively as well.
Rockets will go with the white uniforms trimmed in red with red lettering across the front. San Antonio in the familiar black uniforms with the silver trim and white lettering across the front. These teams obviously members of the Southwest Division and have been division mates ever since the Spurs' inception into the NBA. They'll play each other 4 times over the course of the regular season. This will be the only meeting they'll have during the preseason slate. Rockets will have some practice time coming up before they play game number 2 of the preseason, and that'll be Friday night here inside Toyota Center against the Toronto Raptors. So Jakob Poeltl's ready to go. I was told when I walked in the building, I said, "Who's your starting 5?" I was talking to Bill Schoening, the voice of the Spurs. He goes, "Poeltl is a guarantee. Other than that, Pop don't know what to do at this point." All right, Poeltl and Şengün at the Jump Circle, and we are ready to bring you preseason game number 1 on the Rockets Network and on Rockets.com. San Antonio wins the tip, and they'll move from right to left as you see things here in the first quarter of play. Trey Jones with the basketball. Forecourt to the top of the key to Pirtle. Dribble drive left handoff. Down the lane, a floater is on the way. That is up, and that is good for Josh Richardson. Via trade last year from Boston, puts up his first shot. 2-0 San Antonio. Rockets run left to right here in this first quarter of play. Sengun to the top of the key. 2 dribbles with his left hand, covered by Pirtle. Underneath down low. There's an easy way to start a Rocket career for Jabari Smith with a 2-hand flush.
Like to see a lot more of that, and I no doubt we will.
Low block right. Bates Diop one-on-one against Smith. Hands it off to Vassell, right of the elbow. Shot attempt is in and out, and finally comes down to the hands of Alperen Sengun. So 1 for 2 are San Antonio from the floor early on. Here's Jalen Green wearing number 4 to Sengun at the midsection now at his left hip. Left-hand dribble. Turns out to a right hand going against Pirtle. He'll turn. He'll spin looking for a cutter. Can't get it out. Right side. Baseline 3 for EG. Comes up side rim. Offensive rebound to Sengun and a fresh 14. They'll post up on Pirtle. He'll turn right. Spin left. Turn right again. Kick it out straight away. Here goes Green down the lane. And he will go up and reverse lay it for 2.
You can see him use his body there. He actually bumped the defender away from him so he could finish the layup. He's stronger.
Minute 15 gone by. Rockets up 4-2. Down the lane. Here goes Trey Jones tippy-toeing along the end line. Straight away, this is a deep 3.